And as I,
It's not going live yet. I haven't pushed that button.
okay, sure.
Okay.
Oh, I need to hit got it. Sorry. Okay. Did I hit that again? Yeah.
You're good.
Okay.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jen Phillips with Just Ask Jen LV, and I am here with my friend Paul Congress. I recently learned that Paul works as a health and wellness advocate, and I'm like, what's that? That sounds really interesting. And then I learned that he works with a health food store that ships all their goodness across the country. And so, Paul, thank you for joining us on this Monday afternoon. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. I had a weekend so good. I probably should sign something to, you know, so that I can't get arrested.
Oh, geez, that sounds like a good time. That sounds like
I
a good.
had, yeah, and it was all legal and ethical, but it was really great.
Oh, that's really cool when that happens.
Right.
So tell us a little bit, how did you get started in the health and wellness space?
It was my first or second job, I think, in 1986, something like that, in California, in the Bay Area. There was I think still there, a mom and pop health food store called Country Sun. And that was, I think I had a friend who worked there, and then he thought I might like working there, and then he left and I got hired. And that was the beginning. If we're going to go way back, my father was a physician, and that's a whole longer story probably than we have time for. But health was in the background in some way, shape, or form, my entire life.
Oh, wow. Okay. So then how did you get to where you're at now? Working with a store that works in this supplemental nutrition, herbs, vitamins, whatnot, and being able to ship across the country. I didn't realize, guys, that he's in my state. He's in Nevada. Had no idea. And then found out that he ships. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I need to learn more about this. And I thought maybe some of you would want to learn more too. So tell us a little bit about that.
How did I come to be where I am? I loved that first job. I've met people, including at the time, there was someone, I would have called him a wizard. His name was Michael, who worked at that Country Sun. And he seemed to know everything there was to know about potions, if you will, herbs, vitamins, amino acids, the combinations, et cetera. And some part of me wanted to be like that. And I have since off and on met an occasional wizard here and there. They're usually at mom and pop health food stores. They're not usually at the more corporate chains. Okay. Anyway, long story short, my several decades of work history has totaled up to about 10 years specifically in the natural food products industry. And I had been doing several other things the last few years, but a year and a half ago, I moved here to Carson City from the Bay Area, not planning to be here. And again, I'll try to be succinct, but I ended up staying. And one of the main reasons is because 30 days after I got hired here, and I moved here, I was hired at this store I had no idea existed. I just didn't think there would be a store of this nature in Carson City. So it was a happy accident. It was meant to be. It was synchronicity. It was divine intervention. It was a lifelong preparation on my part, like all of those things, if you will, depending on the context you want to frame it in.
Okay, tell us about this store. Tell us what is it that Dubois Health Foods does?
Well, it was started by Phil Dubois in 1964. He passed before I moved to Carson City. I didn't meet him, but he had a vision of really being, a community hub, if you will. And it really has become that. I would say that kind of distinguishes it, but it's really a healthy, authentic, collaborative sort of family environment. Although Phil passed, is the one person who is actually a Dubois, his wife, who still runs everything, and the rest of us are like, we're family, really, of her. It's we, especially now, we have just an absolutely exceptional team. It's been a little bit of a bumpy ride the last year and a half in terms of people who have come and gone, and some people we've hired that really have not worked out. But now we're really solid. In fact, we could probably use one more person, but we've got a solid base of people who really love being there. We love to be of service to people. We try to always upgrade the quality of our products. If we hear about a company that's maybe not doing everything above board, we try to investigate and maybe not carry as much of their products, or eventually none at all, and bring in somebody else. We try to be local. We try to carry local products, although it's not entirely local. So, but it's
Okay.
a unique place. We have, for example, one of the things that I think is you don't always find even in a mom and pop health food store is we have bulk herbs, spices, medicinal herbs, teas, the whole 9 yards. So it's got that I don't know, community feel, family feel, wholesome feel, if you will.
So I don't live there. I don't live in Carson City. I'm in Las Vegas. But
Right.
you said that you guys ship. So how does
Yeah.
that work? And you mentioned creating wellness and helping people with that kind of stuff. So how do you help somebody that isn't in Carson City, that can't walk through your doors today?
Mhm.
How do you help them to get more in tune with their wellness, their health, and get them on their right path?
Well, we do what we can with the time allotted. We wax and wane like any business in terms of business throughout the, how busy we get throughout the day or week. But I'm kind of the guy who, as I mentioned earlier, I'm the guy who I love people. We all do, but I can interact with people all day long and like be there for them and offer them suggestions and coaching, if you will. But I do talk to people on the phone as well. I can't do it typically for the same length as I can when people are in person. But people ask me questions, I make suggestions. Based on my herbal knowledge and my nutritional knowledge, and often I'll make suggestions that are not confined by nutrition and supplements. In other words, lifestyle, stress, emotional well-being, that sort of thing.
Okay. What would you say is your favorite product in the store?
Well, there's one that I actually am invested in. So that's a CBD product. If anyone has questions, I'll talk more about it. But aside from that, one that I can I don't profit from in any way other than seeing the store thrive, is Oreganol by Wild American Herb & Spice, or North American Herb & Spice rather. Oreganol is a wild crafted oregano, and probably of all the spices, oregano is the most beneficial in terms of medicinal value. And what I see in terms of benefits, with customers, myself, family, friends, etc., friends of customers, I mean, we sell a lot of this stuff, is anything from immune support. Of course, I have to be careful how I language this, right? Because we're dealing with the AMA, the FDA, etc., all those wonderful people. So basically, what I can say is that it's immune support. I've seen people use it very effectively for allergy relief. I've seen profound things with all sorts of skin conditions, including a gentleman who had a horrible skin condition. This is a recent thing, horrible skin condition for 30 years. Doctors couldn't figure out what to do for him. He suffered and suffered and suffered. Couldn't sleep well, skin cracking and bleeding. I mean, you can imagine this guy's really suffering. He's a man about 75 years old. One of our customers who's been using oregano for about 30 years, who he himself is really a picture of health at age 75 or 80. He suggested his friend try this stuff, and his condition didn't clear up 100%, but about 60% improvement within about a week. Sleeping again, like that. And this is oregano. Okay. So we got to shift our perspective. I mean, I know we don't have time and that's not what this call is about, but we overlook things that we wouldn't think are beneficial. And then we are trained to think within a small focused paradigm, really, in terms of what we should do if we're out of balance in some way. Right. So, but we're talking, how have we continued to exist as a species? Well, not just with big pharma. I'll just put it that way. Okay.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, Paul, how does somebody get in touch with you? Like if they want to order something, or if they want to get something, or they want to check out the store, is there a website? Is there a phone number? Like, how do they do that? I've already tagged you, I already shared this video, and I've already tagged you in it. So
Wonderful.
how do people learn more?
Okay, so our very new employee, Katie, just started an Instagram account, and I'm not familiar with that stuff. I'll have to get the Instagram account information to you perhaps in the near future. That just began. So, but it's an Instagram account of Dubois in Carson City, if you can find it. Again, I don't even know how, I've never been on Instagram in my life. I'm 85 years old. So, and you can see how good I look. That's because of the products at Dubois. In any case, I was actually bald before and I used our collagen product. So, you know, there you go.
Wow.
Disclaimer, that was sarcasm in case anyone doesn't have a sense of humor who's listening. Anyway, so we're old school. We're not, our website is not even at this point worth even sharing because it's a weird thing that I don't understand that stuff. It's something that happened with our website a few years ago. So it's come drive up to Carson City. I know most of you aren't going to do that, or call us at, let's see, now you're testing me. Do I know our phone number? 775-882-2451. Yes, 775-882-2451. That's the phone number. And should I give my email or anything, or should we just leave it there? What do you think?
Well, you know what? You're tagged in this. If anybody wants more,
Yeah, they can find me. Yeah,
they can find you. You're right
Okay.
on here. I think it'll be
Right.
great for people to connect with you and see
Right.
what it is that you do. I think it's really interesting, you know,
Mhm.
finding a mom and pop shop. I mean, those are always just very cool anyway. And finding
Yes.
something that's been in holistic healing for, well, longer than I've been alive, for over 50 years. Like, that's just really very cool for me. And looking at somebody who is, in this space, wanting to help people in a way that's natural, in a way that is beneficial to their bodies, it's not going to be bringing more toxins in. I think that that's something that I definitely would love to learn more about. And so, Paul, if you're open, I'd love you to share more about what you guys do, share more about what you know. I don't know that much. I tend to listen to those that know more than I do, and I like learning about this stuff now. And so I've been exploring myself. Like, I want to go find new soap. I was using one company and I stopped that membership because they required me to purchase so much each month. I'm like, there's only so much I can keep in my house. And so now I'm like, okay, well, now where do I get my dishwasher soap? And okay, now where do I get my body wash? And
Mhm.
not really understanding. I know about sulfates, I know about parabens, and I know, like, don't use those. Well, then
Right.
great. Then what do I use and where do I find it? And so
Right.
not really understanding that whole industry, but having somebody that does is really beneficial. And so I think that this could be really, really fun learning more. And anybody who's got questions, please post them in there. Paul will get to them, I'm sure. I'll forward them to him if he doesn't see them first. And looking forward to my next interview. I actually don't have one on my calendar, I think, until February. So anybody knows a business owner that would like to share their story, just like Paul has today, share your business, share your story. What is it that you're doing to help change our world? What is it you're doing to help people grow? What is it you're doing to help people be healthy in their own skin? Those are the people I want to talk to and I want to learn more from. So thank you very much, Paul. Do you have any last minute advice to any of our listeners today?
Well, keep it simple. The best solutions are the simplest ones. And I think in virtually every aspect of life, every institution, from education to health to politics, is just far too complicated. If a fifth grader can't explain it and understand it, then it's probably something you should move away from. So.
Fair enough. Well, friends, thank you so much for joining me on Just Ask Jen, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. If you didn't know, Chinese New Year was, I think, this weekend. We just had a new moon, lots of good stuff happening. It's 2023. We've got a week and a half left until this first month is over. What are you going to do with 2023? Look forward to seeing you guys soon. Have a wonderful day.